Road Show, episode number 588. My name is John Morgan, and Cold Coffee is with me here in Las Vegas as we get ready to celebrate the real America 250 celebration. Yes, we had that amazing event out at the White House to kind of signify it all, but this weekend, Independence Day weekend, 4th of July coming up, come on. Can't get any better. A weekend off of fights. Not that I would watch fights if they were on this weekend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
mean, we all watch fights on our days off still.
So it's not that I'm complaining, but it is kind of nice to just have one weekend. Like, man, we can just totally kind of disconnect a little bit, hang out with the fam. I'm actually gonna do a little staycation over at the Fontainebleau. Hanging out with the family a little bit, checking in at the very fancy Fontainebleau Hotel.
Yes.
So yeah, actually get to enjoy it a little bit. Maybe some fireworks. Actually, just got a call from.
Are you going to be there through the weekend?
I'm actually. Are you
going to be there on the 4th?
No, we're actually going on Sunday. Actually, so we're going to hang out.
I was like, if you're down there, you're going to see the fireworks, bro. They're already talking about the fireworks.
Fireworks can be huge. I did find one today. I got an email that might be worth checking out. So. Couple things. So Ben the Bane Davis hit me up. He is actually hosting a Major League eating event on the 4th of July at the New York Hotel. I guess they're having a hot dog eating contest over at the New York, which is ghastly watching. It's just I watched the bagel eating contest at Bagel Mania that he was hosting, and it was that one's. I mean, they do the same thing where they like dip it in the water because they're trying to eat with the hot dogs, it's the buns. With the bagels, they were doing the same. And
it's just
parts
disgusting.
of stuff. It's absolutely disgusting. But it's funny.
Is the Nathan's one on the 4th as well? Like the big one?
I think so, but that's out in New York.
Yeah, I know it's out
right
like there, but I mean, like they're kind of
or
like.
do they do the 4th of July? Or do they do like Labor Day or Memorial Day?
I want to say I thought I heard it was maybe the 4th because I heard that Joey Chestnut. I thought I don't know if he took a hiatus, but I heard that he was doing it, and I was like, doesn't he do all of them? But then I thought maybe he took a little hiatus.
So I'm gonna go check that out. I think my family, it's just something goofy to do, and it's whatever. Go support.
But if you're gonna be down there
Davis
on the 4th, it's gonna be busy.
It's gonna be. That's the only thing. It's getting down there. It's going to be tough.
They're going to shut off some of the streets and stuff like that.
So here was another one that I just got an email from. The F1 Plaza, because obviously I'm on their email since my son has become a hardcore F1 fan. But the F1 Plaza down there, I guess their rooftop of the F1 Plaza, they're allowing people for free. Like there's not even a charge. Yeah, it's free. Obviously, I guess I'm sure there's like a limit of how many people can go. But you can just go hang out there and so I don't know, maybe, but that's the other thing. It's gonna be so crazy down there. And then we're checking in on Sunday, and then I'm staying Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So.
Nice. It is this 4th as well when the Nathans. But yeah, it's at Coney Island in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Brooklyn. But yeah, Chestnut did win. I think he won it last year, and I think he won again. But it's neat watching the beginning of it because you're like, look at him go, and then as it goes on, you're like,
it's absolutely disgusting, but it's funny. It's fun. It's goofy.
The guys at the top of the field certainly separate themselves pretty quickly. But when you watch some of the women that are like the really good ones as well, you're just like, how is it even possible? Because they're like a fraction of the size of like the dudes, and they're literally thrown down. Yeah, it's just crazy.
It's funny. And I guess Ben, I guess he signed on to do all their events.
Ben could throw down some hot dogs, I bet.
Bruh.
Because he's an athlete, so he eats, I imagine.
That's exactly what you meant. You're terrible, bro. Terrible. But he has a good time. Obviously, I think his energy and stuff like that is perfect for kind of goofy events like that.
Oh, yeah. His commentary is fun. But, yeah, it's good on all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, he'd be a lot of fun. Are they going to televise it?
Yeah, so I think it's streamed somewhere. I'm not sure because the last time I went, he was there, and
because I'll be watching stuff online.
I don't know if you knew Eric. Did you know Eric Winter at all from Yahoo back in the day? So Eric is somehow involved with it too. I didn't even know he was there, and I saw him. I'm like, I guess he's helping arrange the production or something. I'm not sure what his role is.
Yeah, because I remember when he was still around like the UFC and other stuff, doing production stuff.
So anyway. Gonna go see some friends, I guess. Maybe
Interesting.
It's just it does get crazy for.
It's gonna get crazy because I was considering watching this stuff. I usually end up sometimes if I don't go out, I'll end up watching them on the TV. But I wouldn't mind watching that stream one. But I think I'm gonna do what I always tell myself: walk out by the train tracks, and so you could see down into the one. But there's also that one just south of here. Mm-hmm. I have no idea where it is. Everybody keeps saying it's like in a neighborhood, and it's literally timed or synced with like the big ones down the strip. And it's every bit as big as whatever. So I'm thinking about just going over to the train tracks and looking at all the different ones.
If you're ever in Vegas on 4th of July and you can find yourself in a place, because, Vegas is a valley, and depending on where you are, if you're getting yourself in an open situation, you can see the whole valley depending on where you are. And if you can do that on 4th of July, it is pretty cool because there are so many. Obviously I remember growing up in Texas, like people would shoot some fireworks and stuff, but like here, I don't know why it's such
Yeah.
a big deal here, but I mean, neighborhoods have like multi-$1,000 celebrations. It's crazy.
It's bonkers. I mean, I can get it when you're out by the desert or something like that. They're not afraid to, set things on fire because there's not a lot of grass. But I've seen on multiple occasions people running over to some brushes and bushes to like knock shit out because they almost put the neighbor's house on fire because they're just sending things everywhere. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Unfortunately, there's always people that have vets with PTSD. Dogs do not like this time of year, and it's never confined to just the 4th. It's usually like a few days.
I never thought about vets with
stuff
PTSD.
like that.
I never even thought about that.
I mean, I know everyone always thinks about the animals and stuff like that, but the vets, tend to, most of them, at least they have the understanding. Okay, this is coming.
Where a dog has no idea.
The dog's just like, what the F is going on, But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. But yeah, it's. Whether you want to watch fireworks or not, you're going to hear them and you're going to see them. But you can get some spectacular displays for free just all over the place. So I think I might go and try to get out there because I keep saying that every year. I'm like, why don't you walk down to the tracks? It's because I walk that path anyways, like every day to get some steps in. But you could literally see right down into the strip. And what's neat about the ones on the strip is they're all synchronized at the main one. So you get to see them all in different little ones. But then you'll see the other neighborhoods ones, and then you're just like, wow, those are cool. And you see the big ones, and then you just see like your neighbors dropping like literally kids like college tuition money on worth of stuff. And it's amazing because they're all the big ones. I'm always so amazed because I'll sit outside my front house.
It's crazy that you're publicly allowed to buy those.
I know, right? And they're huge. They're not like just like the little here. I mean, they're boom. They look every bit like what you would see at the displays.
We had some bottle rockets.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a little Roman candle or something.
Roman candles are tough.
But we didn't have like, I mean, they have like huge
cannon shells.
Yeah.
Like they're massive. Like it's incredible. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah. And it's the real one. It's the real, 4th of July celebration around this year. I mean, this is the time when everybody, you start feeling patriotic. Everybody starts, getting together. And this is hopefully another time of us kind of rejoining, getting back together, because I do feel we are a bit separated.
We are a bit divided.
So this is the time where hopefully, everybody kind of gets together and kumbaya, go America,
If you'd like some assistance in doing that, might I suggest that you pick up a copy of UFC Freedom 250, the music. The album drops.
Did they have it come out?
So, literally, the press release came through. I know you were busy packing up while I was on my way over. Literally, the press release came came over while I was on my way over here. So the album does come out. It says UFC celebrates UFC Freedom 250. The release of the album and nationwide merchandise pop-up stores is Friday, July 3rd. So anyway, it's going to be available tomorrow, Friday, July 3rd. I'm interested to see if it's on Apple Music. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's 29 tracks, so it's all the walkout music. But then not only is it the walkout music, but it's the walk back music. You know how they always play music like as they're leaving the octagon. It's things that were on the back of the video packages. And so I mean, all the music is there. So 29 total tracks. So I do think that's very cool. They did in the press release acknowledged all the people by name that are the members of the band. You've got the lieutenant colonels, master gunnery sergeants, et cetera, et cetera. They've got all that. But here's the thing, Cold Coffee, and maybe, I don't know, I had the wrong idea about this, but I kept reading in the press release to find out like who's going to be the beneficiary of the album sales. Like I figured this would be the perfect thing to raise some money for a cause or
Sure.
No, I don't think so. I think I think it's just a for-profit venture, and I kept.
But it's not. It doesn't go back to the Marine band or anything, or.
I mean, you would think if it did, they would go out of their way to point out. Now, again, I haven't seen this. It doesn't say necessarily like who benefits from this. And
so somebody bought the rights to license the music.
And I haven't seen it in the store yet, so I don't know. But I thought this would be the perfect thing to like raise some money for a cause. And it sounds like this is just a for-profit venture, which, by the way, nothing wrong with a for-profit venture. This is the land of capitalism. This is the United States. And if they pay the money, so I'm not questioning their decision to generate money off of this. But I don't know, with the whole like, hey, man, we're paying for everything here, and this won't cost you. And this isn't costing taxpayers money, but I don't know. I thought maybe it would be a good fundraiser.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly would. But, yeah, it does make sense that they would, somebody had either paid the rights or whatever, and I don't know, maybe World Liberty funded the money or whatever, and they're using it to get the money. But what's interesting is I like, if anything else, that I thought that I would listen to it. I don't know if I'd buy the album, but what it did make me want to do was to purchase some of the other music that those guys actually do, where it's maybe more traditional or marching band, but with their spin on it.
Have you done that?
No. But
I know you're the kind of guy that'll go do that. You support causes and stuff.
Yeah, but even playing in, I did like the band at school.
Right.
I played in the concert band at Columbus State Community College. I did all that other stuff. So like symphony stuff, all the classical music, I do enjoy it. I don't listen to it all that often, but it'd be kind of interesting to see if they did like, when you think about the big band eras, and those, when you have that many piece instruments on there, they can work all these little symphony pieces. So that I think would be cool. Whereas like I would listen to the 250 because I enjoyed their renditions of popular music, but it'd be interesting to see, to give them also something that maybe isn't just not back to this event, something that's just tied to that band where maybe the money does go back to the band, or at least, something along those lines. But I don't know. Because outside of the tracks that I thought were good, I don't listen to a lot of those songs regularly.
Right.
Not that I would listen to classical stuff regularly, but at least I would put it on a shelf for use or whatever. More so than, hey, you guys want to relive 250? I got some beers. Let's throw on some burgers. Let's throw on.
Oh, that's America right there. Let's crack open a beer and throw on a burger.
And let's relive Freedom 250, dog. What do you think? As opposed to something where, say, if we're having a July 4th party, I might put on some patriotic, like classical, whatever renditions by the U.S. Marine Band or something. But no, I am interested. Even when Dane was like, how cool would it be if the lead singer got like a music deal? Maybe she still can.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It's pretty cool, but I mean, maybe they have to finish their Marine, whatever their active duty, whatever their
before they're
able to do that sort of thing. I would think that she still could get an exemption, that she could do something, especially on her own free time. It's not like she's a soldier constantly, but while they do have off time, that you would think that maybe they could do something, but I don't know, maybe they have some sort of like, limiting thing, since your only role as a soldier is a musician, so they don't want you being a musician somewhere else until you're done with your
that makes sense,
deployment or something. But that would be really, really cool, and I'd love to see some more of the stuff. It did make me want to go back and try to look at something to see if they had like social media stuff and try to do with some other stuff.
They were really good.
They were so fantastic.
I did. I will say this: if the album is available on Apple Music and I have a subscription there,
I would listen to it.
I'll download it.
Yep.
I don't know that I'd go out of my way and purchase it, but if it's on there, and we'll find out. Which I think, you don't have to buy albums inside Apple Music. If it's there, it's there, right?
You could just download it, and it's like one of those things that once you if you cancel your thing, it'll just remove itself or whatever.
So I'll check that out tomorrow when it comes out. I did make one purchase. I don't think I talked to you about this. I did buy the full collection of the Topps Now cards. Are you familiar with Topps Now at all?
I know of them, but I don't know.
I'm not a card collector. I have not bought cards in forever. When I was a kid, I liked baseball cards, but that was like the era when they were what was called the wax era or whatever, where they were printing millions of cards and blah blah blah. So anyway, but I did go. I actually bought the full set of the cards, and I don't know if you've seen this one. This is Topps Now card 24, I guess.
Oh, look at that.
This photo. It's this photo. If you guys have seen it,
that's probably Josh.
Hedges that shot this. And I think that was another part of it too. It was like friends of mine.
He said I think he had some remote cameras that he did some, but that looked maybe a little bit under than where he was. But
so they had a card, I believe, of all the winners. I don't believe there's a Josh Hokett card. I don't believe they made a Josh Hokett card, but I think they have all the other winners.
Oh, maybe because they probably were planning for the other one, so they already had the prep work. I wonder if it was the last minute. Was there a Derek Lewis card?
No, it's only the winners.
Oh,
but not a Josh Hokett. So I don't know if that's because he got. He got himself banned, got himself excluded. But anyway, the card that we're talking about, if you Google it, it's card 24. Turns out they made 19,000. So this again, I'm not a card collector, but Topps Now, if you guys want to know about it, after every event, Topps selects like highlights of that moment or whatever, the big moments of that night, and makes commemorative cards of that moment, and then they only print as many as are ordered, right? So it's not like you just print 100,000 of them and see what comes up. You print as many as are ordered. So it turns out for this one, 19,299. But I thought this photo was so amazing. It's a wide shot that's set back. It's got the claw in it, and it's just at the moment that the flyover is passing over the claw, and you've got the White House in the background. You've got the octagon and all that. So I had to order a little bit of these, and I did think, I wonder if there's a chance I could get one of them autographed. So I ordered multiple of that one, and I wonder if there's a chance that I could get like Dana White and Donald Trump to autograph it. That would be a pretty cool collectible.
That'd be pretty dope.
That would be a pretty cool collectible.
So I think the singer Staff Sergeant Hannah Davis. If I'm imagining that's it, because I just happened to look at the President's Own United States Marine Band. It shows Staff Sergeant Hannah Davis singing the national anthem at the Great American State Fair's opening day. So I imagine that she was the one that was singing. She was so good. But yeah, I mean, this band is so talented. They're so cool. I'm glad that Hegseth still allows them to have rankings, even though they're maybe not active duty. You see what that fucker did to like chaplains and other stuff too? Removed the like ranks insignias from their like uniforms and
For
other
what?
sort of stuff.
What does that accomplish?
Because he's a dickhead. It's just because I don't know. I forget what his reasoning was, but I don't think it was because they're since clergy or whatever. But he had some reason. He was like, they don't need to have their ranks displayed, even though they still have the rank.
That seems weird.
It seems really weird.
Isn't the whole like pride in military is you ascend rank and serve your country? And
yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's weird.
I could see him doing. I mean, with that same logic, say if it was whether you're active duty or whether you're fighting or not. If these, I don't know. When it comes to musicians like this, if they actively do, I'm sure they go through routine drills or whatever.
That. I'd like to hear, because listen, even when I have a dissenting opinion on somebody, if they can explain to me why and I can see the logic in it, I can be like, I disagree with you, but like, I see where you're coming from. I don't understand that at all. Now you sent me down a rabbit.
Well, yeah, it's been a very, very in a time when they were supposed to be getting closer and blah blah blah. Like it's becoming very, very weird the way that they're doing some things with our military, which is kind of very just leave you shaking your head like, what is going on?
That's bizarre. Did you see these psychos that climbed the Empire State Building?
Fucking nuts.
Crazy. I know we're talking about fights on here. Obviously, it's a week off. We'll talk about next week. We'll talk about International Fight Week. But I got to talk about other things that are going on in my life right now.
It's ballsy crazy.
Like, that stuff makes me visibly scared as I'm watching the footage. Like, oh my God.
I mean, like, that's right up there with like that dude that was doing like the free climbing,
yes,
on the side of the building, like when you see how absolutely high up they are and you're just like, I mean, even if they're like, we need to get them down, we're like, but bro, I ain't going up there.
I'm not going up there.
Like, we'll wait them out. We'll wait them out. They got to come down sometime.
That was crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, bonkers.
The footage, watching it, and the other thing too is, I mean, obviously it quickly became a meme where people were putting like goofy stuff on the flag they raised or whatever. Yeah, which was funny. But I saw some stuff on social media that was a little bit scary. Like it was like changing the message on the flag, but not like joking type stuff. Like it was trying to say that they were saying like this was their message or that was their message. And dude, like AI is so good now. Like it makes pretty convincing like photo things. You know what I mean? So I thought that was weird. But anyway, just the footage itself, I had to see if you saw that, because it makes me like visibly like physically like scared like when I see it like that.
I mean, to think how high they were is just bonkers. I mean, I remember it's funny because it was all picture on the people on the ground like looking up like, oh, that's so small from the thing. I bet all they could see was just something waving, like the sign, the flag that they were doing, because the people themselves, I doubt you could even see where it was, because one, it's at that top of the spire, so then you got the building, and then it curves inward and then up. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Crazy.
Those people are nuts, bro.
Dude.
People are nuts.
Like, however they got that anyways. But just to be like, you want to do this? Honey, what do you think?
Man, hey, those two were made for each other, bro.
Oh, yeah. That's some fucking crazy stuff.
Watching World Cup at all?
I watched the USA game yesterday.
Yeah?
That was pretty cool.
Trash red card.
That was garbage.
Trash red card.
I mean, like, if there's ever a way to get back at the U.S. trying to find some, like, way to, like, hurt their chances of going forward, might as well take the top dude. I would assume he's our top dude.
Oh, he's
right?
our top guy. Yeah,
he's amazing.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean that it's just, and it's funny you hear the commentary. It did look worse in slow motion, but when you see the guy ultimately, like he was up in the air stepping, the guy comes around him, and of course they make contact. But when his leg came down on it, I get it. It sucked the way it landed on his foot. Like he's lucky his ankle didn't get broke or rolled or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But there was no intent.
Problem.
There was no intent. Yeah, that's just fucking shit. But yeah, that's the stuff like that just makes me think every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, that's why this sport's fucking stupid.
Oh, no, it's not stupid. That call was terrible.
Running. That fucking shot by Tillman.
Yeah.
At the end, they got the 2-0 or whatever.
Amazing.
That's some skill right there.
Amazing.
Like that right there, and then I'm like, okay, that's good. If people were doing that all the time, I'm like, okay, I'd watch this.
Yeah.
When it's just like the flopping and all that little fake ass shit, you're just like, bro.
Yesterday was a frustrating game to watch because Bosnia, clearly they know they didn't have the athleticism that the United States have, so it was just like, just play defensive, park the bus, you know what I mean, and just wait for your opportunities. And that's not exciting to watch. Like, it was exciting. Some of the other U.S. games have been great. And I've been watching, I have pretty much every game on in the back, just at least have it on or whatever. So, and my wife's been watching all the Mexico games, of course, so we've been watching those. So, I love the World Cup. I do. I mean, never go into the idea that the U.S. has any chance of actually contending. Although
have we only made it past the next round once?
Yeah. Well, years ago, we made it to, like in 1950, we made it to like the semifinals, like a long time ago, and then we made it to the quarterfinals in 2002 in South Korea.
Yeah.
So we've never.
But I mean, it's cool to make it to this point.
It's cool to make it to this point.
Especially as the host, but then I was just like, okay, well, we just took a huge fucking hit. But
we took a huge hit. It's going to be tough next time out. We play again on Monday, so I'll be watching that game from the Fontainebleau. Have you seen that one commercial though? That is pretty cool. It has, and I should know the guy's name, but it has one of the guys from the Miracle on Ice hockey team. So it's like, I think it's probably like a Budweiser commercial or something. But it's like two guys sitting in a bar or whatever, and they're talking about, it's showing like U.S. soccer highlights, and they're kind of like, yo, man, like we could win this thing, and everybody knows, the U.S. doesn't really have a chance to win or whatever. But it's like, yeah, what if? And they're all fired up, and the other guy was like, nah. And then it's one of the dudes, and I wish I knew his name. I think it was the captain of the team, whatever. He's like, what's the matter? Don't you believe in miracles? And then he like steps up and turns around. He's got the U.S. hockey jacket on and stuff. It's dope. It's a cool commercial. Yeah, it's like, all right, not really gonna happen, but still, it's a cool commercial.
Yeah.
One other thing, I did not see this, and I hope I'm not getting this wrong because I think I saw like a meme of it. And I didn't hear the actual footage, so I hope this isn't a lie. I hope somebody didn't make this up. But somebody was saying during the England and Ghana game, which I think ended up being like a 0-0 tie, that they were playing in Boston, right? And so England was kind of struggling on that. And I guess the announcer said, like, the British have typically struggled in New England. And I was like, that's beautiful, bro. Like, Revolutionary War humor. Like, come on, man. Let's go. The British have typically struggled in New England. So that was great. All right, listen, before we get to International Fight Week, and obviously, well, first of all, let's just say next week, I was going to say, we'll get together on Thursday. We'll talk about it, these big numbered events. Maybe we do it after the press conference so we can get the reaction of Conor McGregor. We can find out what Max Holloway has to say. But I don't think that's going to be possible. They shifted the schedule up on us next week. It came out that the press conference is actually going to be after the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So it's going to be evening time, which I found very interesting because that would be 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, on the night before that these guys have to cut weight. Now, Conor McGregor and Max Holloway, the headliners, they can't imagine that they'll have too much weight to cut. I can't imagine Max is going to have more than skipping a meal or something. I imagine that's not much more than his walk-around weight. Conor's gotten pretty big, so maybe he'll have a little bit more of a weight cut. But typically, you wouldn't want to keep those athletes deep into the evening on Thursday evening because they got to get to their weight cut and weigh in on Friday morning. But that seems to be the schedule. Now, I will say from a media attendance perspective and all that, maybe it helps more media attend the Hall of Fame by putting it afterwards. I don't know. I don't know what their thinking was there, but anyway,
like forcing us to have to go to the Hall of Fame. I won't go in the Hall of Fame.
Here's the thing: is I love the Hall of Fame.
We're never able to do anything.
We can't do anything with the footage. Like so,
I don't get it.
I love watching the Hall of Fame inductions. I love the speeches. I love the respect to history. But yes, as an attending journalist, you're not allowed to do anything with the footage because they have strict broadcasting restrictions on it. Much in the same way they do like a live fight. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't do anything. So what's the point in shooting it?
Unless there's some broadcast passover handoff or something. I mean, because do they normally? Because it's on ESPN normally, right? The last couple times.
Has it been?
Or was it Fight Pass?
I thought it was just Fight Pass.
Maybe it was Fight Pass, but I thought maybe it was like on the ESPN handoff or something last time, or maybe not.
I don't know if this one's on Paramount Plus. It would make sense to be on Paramount Plus.
It makes sense to be on Paramount Plus and then just do a handoff straight over to the press conference on it afterwards or something. But still, they could have did that in the opposite direction as well, or something. But I don't know, this late stuff. I mean, well, if that's all we have to do that day, I mean, that means Thursday's going to be pretty open until we do the red carpet.
So we'll just do a show in the afternoon or whatever. What I was going to say is, like, sometimes we the numbered events, kind of, it's fun to do it after the press conference, but that's just not going to be possible. It's going to be too late because then you got to get up early in the morning for the weigh-ins the next day. So
see, what it is because they know that we're going to see everybody on media day the day before. They're like, we want to give your news coverage some breath, let it breathe out there a little bit.
Get a little more.
And then we'll do the same stuff tomorrow.
Guarantee they never thought of that. But just so you know, if you're looking for the press conference next week, that I just saw that. We haven't gotten our complete press schedules yet, but I saw some of that release. There's going to be a power slap event next week. There's, of course, at one point there was boxing. There's not going to be boxing on Sunday, which I think is good. There's just so much going on. World MMA Awards return on Wednesday night. Those are going to stream live on Rumble, by the way. So for the first time ever, live streaming on Rumble. So the World MMA Awards. And I love it. It took a little while to get back here, but the World MMA Awards is going to be back to just full annual stuff. So now it's no longer the July 1st to June 30th or whatever. It's, just the annual year, which is good. So anyway, that's something on your radar for next week. But I wanted to get to something because I realized last week after we got done recording, you and I were talking about the Apex and all the things that are happening there.
Yep.
And then we started recording, and I meant to bring it back up, and I never did. So what can you share about the Apex? Because you were, all the construction, you actually got a chance. You had some business there.
Yeah.
So you actually, this was a non-fight week or whatever, but you had a chance to kind of look around a little bit, right, and see kind of what's going on.
Yeah, they had cleaned up the floor, and it was like the kind of thing I was going there to see a friend, and so it was like definitely not like oh, hey, let me whip out my phone and start shooting stuff, because I did see other people going around and, would have just caused the same shit that's happened before when I've been in that room like, can you please not show that while we're in this messy state or whatever. It wasn't that bad, but they were starting to tear into the floor. But for the most part, like, I guess people, I think everybody has been seeing how they changed the sign on the buildings, and and they put the Med Apex and the UFC branding that was there. They're going to move that to a different part of the building. But on the inside, for those that have attended the event or those who have either seen it, you might, if you haven't been into the space, you might hard to visualize this, but when you come into, the new lobby doors, that's all going to be the same. And when you turn, you come in, there's concessions immediately either in front of you from when you walk in that door, or if you go in and then it'll be to the right. That little hallway where they have gift stuff, and this is where we would normally do like the official weigh-ins and the other stuff for that particular room. The wall on the left side normally is covered by drapes, and there's some metal rafters that hold the top, like, I don't know what you want to call it. There's like sound slats and other little stuff, but it's just metal rigging. Nothing really is on that thing, but you never really get a good chance to see them because it has the draping. So all the draping was down, and those metal braces that hold that little section, and normally you just walk right through there. You don't think anything about it. And then above it on the one section, you would see that X. And if you've ever seen, like, watching on the stream, there's a couple sections of the metal behind where people sit. You would see like this X, whatever that X meant, or maybe it was just happened to look like an X, but it was just the way that the crossbars went across each other. And normally there would be a video screen on the one side. The video screen was gone. And what they're going to do is that wall right there is going to be moved 3 feet towards the concessions. So it would go 3 feet into that room where normally there's the merchandise and the other stuff, and where we would do our weigh-in. So the room is going to move in 3 feet there. And then above that wall, there's going to be 2 sets of stairs. One set of stairs that will go to a rafter or sort of a walkway area where they store this excess production gear and some of the other stuff that would normally be on the floor off to the side. It's either used for the event, or it's either just a standby area for all the other little, probably like the play-by-play guys and the stuff that are in that, all operating that sort of stuff. And then the other set of stairs is going to go up to another VIP sort of ledge, if you will. So there'll be another standing area. So that's going to be there. So which means that the TV that would normally be right there would be placed right in front of these people. So they're either going to relocate that one there, and then they're going to push out more towards that back wall. So they're expanding the floor. So they were starting to drill into the ground to lay some different lines that'll take it into the room, so that as it expands, and then this will push it out to the 1,000 seats that they're talking about.
That's like real structural change then.
Yeah, because they talked about the seats. So now when they push it back, the seats will be able to go up higher, but also I think that's going to work out with more seats on the floor, which will then alter the way that walkouts, where normally, like on some of the Apex ones, you have the guys that are able to, the Contender Series, they always take them from either that side one, and some for the UFC, they come out of that straight ahead, where we're in the media, the straight ahead sort of like doorway, and then, but some of the Contender Series and some of the other ones, they walk out they start behind the seats, wrap around the seats, and then it comes to the front where you would either normally come for the UFC events. So when these seats push back, they're going to open up the seats a little bit on the one side, so there will be for the potential to have two different entranceways, using that center one like they normally use for the UFC, but also adjusting the Dana White Contender Series one, so that if they want to have a red corner, blue corner, now they can walk
just
them through.
Like in a traditional arena where you have like the champions walk on the one side.
So this might mean now if they want to use it, since you're going to have it available, I don't see why they wouldn't walk everybody through that particular side, since you can have that whole sort of a fan walk through the seat. So that'll change as well as they walk through the seating. So a lot of times when you're watching the UFC events, you don't really see a lot of that. You just see sort of the wraparound of the stands. There's no break in between the seat action for them to come through. They always have to go around. So what they push up, and when they're pushing these seats back, it's going to change the floor situation. They'll still have the media, but I'm interested to see how that even changes as well, since they're spreading out the rafters, making more adjustment for a walkway through the floor while still adding floor seats and pushing it back. So it'll be interesting to see. I want to say the VIP room's still going to stay up there because that's real nice with that little bar in the whatever area. Whereas if you watch Zuffa Boxing, that's where the Zuffa Boxing people.
They set up and broadcast.
That's where they set up and broadcast, pointing back onto the boxing ring. So that's that particular room. So that'll stay the same. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, they are physically widening out the room and changing it. And I want to say they will have more of an actual wall when they push that 3 feet into the thing. There will be more of an actual wall facility, facade thing, as opposed to the drapes or whatever, since it will have the stairwell and stuff like that. So
we'll get our next look at it on August 8th. That'll be the next Meta Apex show. We just found out, by the way, announced also today, which you might not even know this, because I know you've been busy working this morning, but Mataush Gamrot and Killing Salkill to be the main event there. They're already putting Salkill into a main event, which is incredible. But August 8th at the Apex, we'll see what kind of progress they've made at that point. And then
that's the first one back, huh?
That's the first one back. And I was looking again, and it doesn't look like there's another one, at least for what's on the books right now. Then you go to Philadelphia, then Sacramento, then Shanghai, then Paris.
They're on the road. Zuffa Boxing's on the road a lot. I mean, this is what people wanted, but unfortunately for Junkie, we're not going to have a lot of people at a lot of these events, which kind of sucks. But
tough to send people over to Shanghai.
But we are going to be back at it because August, what starts up in August?
Contender Series, baby.
Yeah, baby. The 11th.
Ready for that.
So
the 11th is the first one.
Yeah, the 11th is the first one.
I do love
we don't have much
Series.
to go. So we're going to get that. We got the big T-Mobile, and then we'll have the Apex back on the 8th, and then boom, next week, the following week after that, Contender Series starts, and then it's 10 weeks straight of that one, man. But yeah, that's kind of cool. So the Apex will be getting some work, and be interesting to see how that even looks too.
I'm anxious to see, and I'll say it. I've said it before, but I'm just gonna say it again. I'm serious. If you are a fan, and even if you don't like the way it looks on TV, or you don't like the way the atmosphere is on TV, try to plan a trip and come out here and go to it. You will like it.
Feels different.
It feels different inside, man. It's it's fun. You'll never be close to the action for less of a price. You
will never, ever, ever. And you're never going to be closer to Dana White either, or any of the guys. You get to see everything, and it's pretty darn special. I have yet to find somebody outside of and this is the part where people always give grief because the family members oftentimes get shuttled in, shuttled out. Outside of that, where I've heard from them, I really wish we could have stayed and watched the full event instead of go. That's the only one I've heard like that. But any fan or anybody that's gotten connection somehow and watched an event at the Apex, I've yet to hear something that was just oh man, that environment sucked, whatever. Because to your point, you're never going to be closer. It might sound quiet or whatever. And again, if you need to have random people cheering to make you enjoy the fight, you're still going to have moments of that. And when it happens in here, it's pretty darn spectacular because it really lightens up the room when actually people start cheering and really getting into it. But you can't, it's so close. You're never going to be that close. You're literally 20, 25 feet away from your favorite fighters, throwing bombs at other people's heads, knocking people out. It's so surreal, man. It's
so
pretty cool.
maybe the way to fix it is if you're watching an event at home and it's the Apex, you turn it on, but then you get yourself a noisemaker, right? You get yourself a noise machine and you just have ambient crowd noise. the background, and that'll change everything for you.
You know, just save some. Just record the World Cup that's going on. Just get that fan crowd, and then you hear that little Norway. Was it Norway that's doing the row?
Yeah.
Dude, that's badass. I have to admit,
Cool.
I think that is probably one of the coolest things I've seen out of like a group team or
It is pretty cool.
supporters doing or whatever. So yeah, put some of that in the background. So when you're watching the next walkout at the Apex, you just whoa.
Did you see any of the footage from Mexico City of like all the Mexican fans outside of the Ecuadorian hotel? Oh, bro. They just came in droves, like outside the host hotel, just like banging on drums and playing stuff and screaming all night long, so they couldn't get any sleep. I love it. My wife was telling me there was somebody, and I will say, like,
that's what used to happen. Remember the Brazil and UFC fighters? They said that happened a lot of times. The American fighters and other people said that
call the
Brazilians
rooms or
call
send
the
stuff
rooms,
to their
make a
rooms.
lot of noise, all that other kind of stuff. I was like, dude, that's sneaky.
It's home field advantage.
It's so sneaky, but it's just like, hell yes, dude.
My wife said there was like a Mexican like TV presenter or something that like on the social media, which I was like, hold on, man. If you're a journalist or a media member, you probably shouldn't be doing this, but still, it's kind of funny. But I guess that was like, it's appalling, what they're doing outside of the hotel at. And gave the address, and you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe that they're doing this heinous act of unsportsmanship at the,
this particular location between this hour and this hour. Don't forget to adjust your time when you come for the time zone.
I was like, I don't know if a journalist you're supposed to be doing that, but
that's pretty.
But it is pretty funny.
That's a low key sneaky way of doing it.
Low key sneaky, man. I love the World Cup, man. I think the fans have been cool. I really wanted to go. The tickets were just so expensive, and my kid's not really like it's funny, he's been watching some of the games, he's starting to kind of like it more. He's like, I do kind of understand, like it is kind of fun, but but man, to pay like
upwards of thousands
Super
of dollars.
Bowl prices to just go to a random game that my kid might not even enjoy, I was like, I just can't justify
Somebody was a friend of mine that actually went to the game, and she's actually a Herzegovinian fan. She's actually Bosnian, so I know she was rooting, but she was like, may the best team win. I was like, all right, well, I hope that means us,
right?
But she was talking about that when she was seeing some of the places, because she went to a couple games. She wanted to take her daughter. She wanted to just experience this and have these memories with her daughter. And I was like, I know that you have the means to do that, and it was a fun for her. But when she look around and see some of these families, and I know people are asking, like, how can these people afford it, and how can they do this? But to them, a lot of this, their team playing in America, getting the opportunity to come to the U.S. to watch their team or whatever, it's like once in a lifetime type shit for a lot of them. So they were just like, yes, we could not do this and we could do whatever, or we literally can spend, what we've had saved up to make these memories or whatever, and do something that,
I kind of see that, if you're in a foreign, like if I was in, let's say, like for whatever reason I had relocated and my family was being born and raised in a different country, you know what I mean, and the United States came to play or whatever, and it's like, bro, we can connect to our homeland and connect to our, like, I could see that, like, then I could justify it.
Yeah. And then you'd find out, and maybe you'd be lucky enough and find this condiment called ranch that everybody's fallen in love with. And it's so funny. I had no idea what was going on, and when I saw like the X or the TSA put that tweet, it didn't make any sense to me. I was like, that is the weirdest tweet ever.
It's so funny.
And then I saw the news, and they explained it, and I was like, now it makes sense. I was just like, because it was just like, if you've just come to America and you've discovered ranch, it is not a whatever, put it in your thing. I was like, if they discover a ranch, I mean, did he spell that wrong? Like, did he go outdoors? I was like, I don't understand. I couldn't think that they were possibly
TSA
talking
had to make a formal announcement
about the
of, like, you can't bring ranch
and
gallons
your
of ranch
carryout.
on board.
Like, I was like, they can't possibly be doing that. But yeah, that's surreal that's going to be one of the things that gets taken away from this World Cup.
I have enjoyed the social media stuff of like people like discovering Buc-ee's for the first time or whatever, and being like, what is this, or
Buc-ee's. We even shake our head like, what the hell is this? Like, Buc-ee's it's just crazy, bro. I can only imagine some of the other things, I mean, people being able to come over and eat certain things that they've seen on TV or whatever, on movies or whatever, getting to see I can only imagine going through like LA and some of these places, Hollywood, seeing all these other kind of things and just being like, but that's why you pay the money and do whatever. It's unfortunate that it is so darn much, because it'd be really cool, but it's great. I love the fact that, I mean, the fans are, that's what makes the sport what it is the diehard fanship and stuff. But I can imagine that some people, just like, well, we could, go and do our normal things this year, or maybe we scrounge for the next 2 years and we go to America.
And we'll just max out the credit cards and have a little fun, and we'll just pay it off in the end.
Yeah, write that shit off somehow.
I don't hate it. Enjoy yourself. Life's too short. Have some fun, man. All right, listen, we will be around UFC 329 next week, of course. You and Harrow will be covering it for MMA Junkie.
I keep wanting to say young Mike Bond. He's not as young anymore. Now young Harrow is the youngest.
Harrow's the youngster now.
But yeah, Bond will be here as well. He was originally coming to try to help work with Harrow to get him up to speed on like the social, so they can be a little bit of handover. So this might be, excuse me, one of the last like ones, unless like me and Harrow don't do it, that Bond will come out from these big ones. But he's such a big Max Holloway homer too, So it made sense that he wanted to come out for this one. But so we will have the threesome for this one.
Wow. Well, let's pause on that. We'll have a trio of individuals. We'll have a
trio of individuals. Yes. All about that Nathan's hot dog, just eating them dogs.
Terrible. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, look, it's nothing's going to be like it used to be, right? Where the Irish would descend into town and they would take over the theaters and stop the traffic on the Las Vegas Strip. It's not going to be like that, but it's certainly going to be a massive event. I'm sure. I don't know if you've talked to any of the UFC PR or anything. I haven't had a chance to. Obviously, I've been tied up, but I don't know like how many credentialed media and stuff. Obviously, not going to be to the level the White House was, because that was a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But I got to imagine it's one of the most attended events in terms of media and
at least this year.
That sort of thing. Yeah, this year.
I mean, I think the 250 they blew it out, and I think most of the PR team, they were glad after the event the week after. They're like, "We'll see y'all in a bit," But I know that they're still. The schedule hasn't really stopped for those cats. A lot of them are getting, had to go over to Baku and then doing all this other stuff. So I know they're worn down, but I know a lot of times when I try to reach out about events, big events in advance, most of them are like, "Bro, I'm still underwater with this week. Can we reconvene and talk about this later or something like that?" And I'm just like, it's a pretty big event, but to them, every event is big. But a lot of them, they're just so swimming. So it makes sense that they didn't get a chance to talk too much, because I know we're still wondering if there's going to be a fan expo, because there was talks that the fan expo was going to happen, that the Freedom 250
can't be, right?
Expo
they would have announced that by now,
right?
Yeah, there can't be.
That was going to be, like that was the year's big fan expo or whatever. But a lot of people expect, and it's always hand in hand, that the Fan Expo goes on at International Fight Week, but we haven't heard anything about it.
There can't be. They wouldn't be announcing it this late in the game.
And I would think that they would say something if it was going to happen. Like
because there's no Radio Row that we've had in the past, and the big activations.
A lot of stuff that goes on. And I know a lot of media that actually just sticks with the whole Media Row. They're over there for days
because they can get interviews for several days.
And it's all unique, all their own stuff, It's all exclusive. It's not like a media day where we're all sort of chucked in there together. So it's pretty interesting that they're not going to do that. But it just makes you wonder, all right, this is the big International Fight Week. Conor's going to be there. So, like, the only thing that you're really setting up for the fans is the Hall of Fame, and then whatever you set up out on the plaza before the event. Like, that's not a lot of forward-facing stuff. I mean, I'm sure the UFC will still do – Brian will do some sort of charity thing, but a lot of that stuff sometimes isn't forward-facing to the fans.
No.
It's just TV stuff and, whatever, or media present, or whatever. So, be interesting. For an event that used to be the highlight of the year as the big event of the year, and I mean, Conor freaking McGregor is coming back on this, but it doesn't feel like after 250, everything's just kind of like, feels like a kind of a small event, even though this was the marquee event of the year.
It's wild.
Always.
It does.
So it's kind of interesting. It just kind of feels like it's fallen underneath the radar just because the schedule's so freaking crazy. And I think that was just the fact of like 250 was just weeks ago. I mean, I think you almost need like 2 months in between to kind of let the space get ready for what would be this. And then maybe if that was the case, maybe they would do a fan expo. Maybe they do whatever. But it's kind of interesting. It just doesn't feel as big as these have felt in the past.
It's wild. I mean, next week,
and
obviously.
It's no offense to the fighters.
No.
It's good cards, but it's just with everything else.
250
just so much
was just
stuff going
astronomical,
on.
like the likes of which we've never seen. You're right. It does feel. I think that'll start to change next week. Have you locked in your pick yet? I mean, I know you haven't submitted your pick yet, but in your mind for the main event, are you 100% dead set one way or the other?
I watched Oscar's video of Conor, and he did a little interview, and he just looked like I don't want to be here, but
in the interview, really?
Yeah, I think he was just probably tired and working out or whatever. But he just
Haven't seen
go
it.
look.
Haven't seen
It's an
it.
8-minute interview, and only 4 minutes of it is the interview. The other 4 minutes is like a
Footage.
Paramount Plus like promo or whatever that they ran on it or something.
On his own outlet?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, and the audio was like he didn't even have like a stick mic, so I don't know if it was just a matter. I think it was like one of those like, is it going to happen? Not going to happen. Is it going to happen? Not going to happen. Oh, hey, we got Conor right here. Just come over here. Let's start shooting. So
That's wild.
I just kind of felt like he was just like maybe he was just out of sorts because working out or whatever. But ultimately, I know that was a long answer for saying that I was leaning Conor. I think he's going to be bigger. I think he'll be more powerful. It just depends on if he's gonna gas, then it's gonna be real bad. Then I'll just feel like a dumbass that I should have just stuck with Max. But
He's dangerous early. There's no question.
yeah, and
He's
I think with the
dangerous
power, I think it'd be good. It's just a matter of if he can, hold through. But he does have a win over Max. Max is, I don't want to say like they're both long in the tooth at this point.
Sure. Yeah.
But Max isn't the same. I don't know. I'm giving a lot of credit to size and physicality on this. I don't think Max is going to be able to knock Conor out unless Conor is completely gassed. And I mean, it seems that he's trying to do some work, but I mean, the size. I think the size. I think he's just going to bully Max physically. If he's able to kind of keep it hands on him, sort of thing.
Yep.
If they're just moving around the thing and he's chasing Max, he's going to wear himself out, and maybe Max will kind of point win him. I don't see Max submitting him. I see this staying on the feet for the most part, but I don't know. I keep going back and forth, but if I had to pick right now, gun to the head, I'd pick Conor, and that drives me crazy to say that.
It's interesting, right? Because, like, in my head, I keep thinking to myself that what Conor McGregor is trying to do is impossible. Like, as long as we've been around the fight game, to see somebody out of the game for 5 years, hasn't had a win in 6+ years because he had the losses, of course, to Poirier before that. Catastrophic injury, of course.
There's that as well.
Just everything tells me what Conor McGregor is trying to do is impossible.
Yeah.
But then I remember that he's Conor McGregor.
He's Conor McGregor.
You know what I mean? That's the weirdest thing.
That's
It's
the
like
freaking the trump card.
if
where you're
it
just
was
like,
anybody else coming back, you're like, bro,
nothing makes sense.
My man, like when Hoist Gracie came back against Matt Hughes, I was this is a long shout,
Yeah.
right? But when Hoist Gracie came back against Matt Hughes, I was like, guys, this is a horrible idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, granted, that's different because like that's an evolution of a sport and all
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
And Matt Hughes was still really on his game at that
Matt
point.
Hughes
Like
was
he
a
was still a beast
prime.
at that point.
Prime, and you're right. So Max Holloway isn't prime Matt Hughes right now. Although Max Holloway's still performing at a high level,
He's still
of
performing at a
course,
high level, yeah.
but he's not vintage. So I don't know. Just everything about this tells me like this is impossible. Like the fact that he's even trying to do this, but it's Conor fucking McGregor,
Yep.
and that dude does like impossible stuff.
I mean, Alex Pereira is an absolute monster, a beast, and there is something about going up and fighting guys that have been carrying that weight and the bigger body size and that power. And when it starts hitting, if Conor in his heydays, the way he moved, the way that his strikes came, I went back and watched the first fight.
Right.
And
Babies.
both of them.
Babies.
But what was unique in that was just the way that he was able to cut off the cage and just the strikes came from different places, and he made Max was guessing. He wasn't sure where things are going to come, so he wasn't able to get things off. So Max has had a lot of fights in between them.
Mm-hmm.
Conor's had a lot of fights. Fights are fights and fights are different, but I think this one will sit on Max's head a little bit in the way that Conor is going to work the talking. They were talking even in that fight. I love it because Joe's like, they're talking. I just can't hear what they're saying. I was like, I can only imagine. So there's going to be some, definitely gamesmanship getting in their head. But with that size difference, they're just going to hit different. And Max has taken a lot of hits.
Yeah.
And taking damage in big fights, and maybe we'll see the point down on the ground, in this one, even regardless of whether he's winning or not. Maybe he'll do it and he'll call it out. Maybe he'll get a moment or something, or maybe he'll get flatlined or whatever. But that size is going to play a difference. I guess the only real bad part is, if it's in a stand-up fist fight, carrying all that weight, even though when Conor, is getting tired, that power stays.
Right.
Unless he just literally, his legs are beat and he can't throw something. So if if he's able to hold on to it, I mean, and with that size, if he can wear some stuff, I mean, I think he can hurt Max. But
I think
I don't know, man.
The opening round and a half, maybe 2 full rounds, like that's when Conor's going to be his most dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Like I think we all agree, like at this size, with this time away,
Yep.
like later in the fight, that would favor Max Holloway.
Yep.
And we've seen Max Holloway go 5 with high volume, like you
Yep.
know what I mean. So again, and I don't think. I mean, it doesn't feel like Max has tried to put on any weight, right? He's just going to cut down from his walk-around weight. So I think you're right about all that. I guess what I'm really curious about is, because you nailed it, like Conor McGregor, his movement, his creativity, his speed, does that still happen at this weight?
Right.
And does it still happen at this age?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
the thought process will be there. Can he physically make his body do where his head's at?
Like
Especially being out of it.
Think about obviously we always point to the Eddie Alvarez fight as like the greatest single performance, but just his movement and his mastery of distance and timing and all that, like
the way he set up strikes and just stuff.
Oh my God! But can he do it at this age and this weight? And I don't know.
He's done a lot of shit to his body in the meantime as well. Maybe the head's maybe not as clear, but. When he dials it in, man, it was always so amazing and fun to see when he was really there. And even if he can get to maybe 60% of some of his best shit for a round, it can be some still pretty spectacular stuff.
Agreed.
And if the power holds on to it, he looks huge though.
Huge.
He's a big boy, man. I was talking to Oscar beforehand. And I was like, "What do you think he's walking around at?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't know, 180, 185." I was like, "You're fucking lying." You're lying to me, bro.
He's like, "Sir, you don't have to protect your employer right now."
I was like, he's every bit light
talking.
heavyweight. Oh, speaking of, he's big. He was definitely. But I mean, I saw a video on Instagram. Jamal Hill. He was like, I don't know if he was teasing. He's like, I'm preparing for my heavyweight fight, and he was defending like eye pokes and other shit. Your boy got big.
He's getting big.
Oh, bro. And he didn't do the Alex Bahia, like, let me just sort of like get muscular big. I'm hitting the
Jamal's
gym.
the kind of guy that would like stick out his belly and stuff for a picture just to be funny, right?
His belly was sticking out. I don't know if he was sticking it out, like I was joking with the team. I was like, oh, sweet dreams. Now we got to call him eat sweets even in my dreams.
Oh. Sweet creams.
Sweet cream. Go look at his Instagram. One, you're never gonna like his sense of humor and his sharpness and his you can't like it's I love when he is on it and he's so funny, and even the video itself, it's really funny the way he was preparing. You could see what guys he was trying to defend against and stuff, and he was joking about the height and stuff, but then he does a side standoff towards the end of it, and you see your boy, his face is definitely gotten rounder, he's definitely gone up weight, but I don't know if he's actively trying to, or if he's just making a joke because, hey, I got bigger, I'm just talking about my heavyweight, or if he's actively trying to go heavyweight. But your boy's put on some size, and it's not. His legs still look in decent shape, but he's carrying it like most of us guys when we start putting weight on, and depending on whether it's just weight from eating and other stuff, we put it on our face and we put it on our belly. And that side shot at the end, your boy's gotten big.
Maybe it's like that Chuck Liddell build, you know what I mean? Where it's like he's ripped, he's got like that tortoise shell.
I'm sure his belly still looks a lot more ripped than any of ours, but still,
I had not seen this. I will say it is funny because you know exactly who he's talking about with each video. You know what I mean?
It's pretty.
His humor and his creativity.
He's hilarious. He's hilarious.
I don't know why he gets hated on so much.
Well, I think him, just like some of the other guys, when they're on the part when they're not feeling it and they get the real short answers, people that comes off, I think, to some people as being standoffish or whatever other stuff. But also too, he might tell you, if you ask something dumb, he might just give you attitude and be like, well, that's a dumb question or whatever, blah blah blah. And some people, do whatever. But we've also had incredibly like eye-opening, like bearing his soul to, us and the answers and other stuff, and he wears his heart on his sleeve, which we've always said is just one of the coolest things about this sport, when the guy's an absolute killer, but also just lays it down. But his humor is amazing. But I just happened to see that, and I was just like, shit.
When he's on point, he's funny, man. Yeah. No filter, obviously, no concern about what he's saying. You know what I mean? And he has some creativity.
But yeah, because I know I was joking about Conor. I was like, bro, look like a light heavyweight walking around. I mean, like, he is thick, man. He is big. But I mean, again, strength in the gym or just physically look strong and carry yourself like a big, whatever muscle-bound person is different than the strength that you need for these fights. If anything else, more of that functional strength. But Conor used to have a lot of that core functional strength. We saw the movements, we saw the other stuff. So even though he's gotten bigger and he's put his body through a lot of shit, still at his core, he has an incredible base just underneath a lot extra weight, And I think that power, that's the kind of stuff. I mean, some of those lefts and just jabs, he has a lot of power, and Max had a hard time dealing with it before. He was again both of them were early on babies, but I don't know, man. And again, it's just that Conor factor, man. It's the X factor.
Everything in my brain tells me that it's Max Holloway, and Conor is ridiculous for even trying this. But
I could tell myself it's Max, and then if I was putting a betting slip, my hand would somehow just tick mark Conor, because there's something in me that's just like, you just can't. It's that freaking Conor factor, man.
It's Conor, man. I can't. Well, we'll see how next week plays out.
I can't even believe that we're here, though. I mean, how many times have we talked and we were just like, he's never going to fight.
Bro,
he's not going to fight.
For years, I felt like I was the one, like the only one carrying that he will fight again.
Yeah.
I was like 100%. People were like, nah. I'm like, no, 100%. This dude is going to fight again. His love of competition, his desire, because obviously he doesn't need the money. Obviously, his legacy in the sport is secure, all those things. But I was like, he will.
Yep.
And even me over like the last year or so, I'm like, yeah, you're right. He's probably not. I'm like, you know what? I can't do it anymore. I can't. I'm been on this island for a while, and I got to jump off the island.
Yep.
I'm coming to the mainland with you guys.
At least you didn't get too far from the island.
I'm telling you, but he's back. So
and to come back and get a win over Max and do it in like a solid fashion, people will forget a lot of like the random recent shit. I mean, like there's still a lot of stuff that people I'm sure are gonna come and talk with him about in fight week.
Yep.
Which is the
nothing will come up from all the outside of the stuff. No, nothing will get brought up though. You're talking about all the stuff like outside of the cage,
rape allegations, all that other stuff.
Nobody's gonna say anything.
You don't think? There's always gonna be one.
Nobody's gonna say anything.
It'll be the ones that come outside.
I will say if they do it, if they do, okay, I will say this.
I mean, it's their right to do it.
It's 100% their right to do it, and I hope they do. They absolutely should. He should have to answer for it.
Yep.
I will say and I've always said this: right time, right place for everything. I will say if you want to get a good, meaningful, realistic answer, or at least have the possibility of doing it, you need to do it at the media day, not the press conference.
Yeah.
Because at the press conference, the crowd will immediately start booing you.
Yep.
And obviously, Conor has a microphone. Assuming Dana White will be there, he has a microphone too. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the setting to get a good answer. And I know, like, sometimes we used to get grief. Oh, you didn't ask him this. It's like, bro, tune into the media day and you'll see. Now, I will say that one time in Abu Dhabi, I had to ask him about the sexual assault allegations, and I had to do it at the press conference because there was no media day. That was the only time we had access to him. But that was the bubble.
Yeah,
I think they'll make him available at a media day. I think that was the whole bubble situation, and he was like late to the bubble, if I remember right. Like he wanted to do the bubble on his yacht, if I recall, and they were like, dude, you can't. Like, we have policies and stuff. And so we didn't get media day with him. And I had to ask him at the press conference. And I will say he did give a pretty thoughtful answer as much. And that was also a different situation because it was not Las Vegas, packed crowd. Like, dude, if you're in Vegas with a Conor audience, like Madison Square Garden or whatever, like, if you try to ask that question, you're not going to get a response. You're going to get booed off the stage. So if someone does have the intention of asking, I would say we haven't seen the media schedule yet, but I'm assuming there'll be a media day. That's when you're going to need to do it.
Yep.
That's when you're going to need to do it. But I don't know, man. I don't know if anybody will. So we'll see. Next week we'll break down the rest of the card. That will be after media day. So I'll let you cover media day. I will observe from afar and collect all the information.
Not even going to come to that one, huh?
Dude, I can't anymore. I'd really, really love to, but there's just never time. I have to accept. I miss it.
Take your calls in the back.
just pop out in the back.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, it does happen all the time, and it's very, very rude. I miss it. I do. To be honest with you, I really, really do miss being in like the media days. Like, I just enjoy conversing with the fighters and letting them tell their stories, and you know what I mean. Like, I know for a long time I was a familiar face, so maybe helping them feel comfortable if they're not like kind of nervous or whatever. You know what I mean?
And there's gonna be some good ones. I mean, like, with Patty, Corey's always a good one. King Green. I mean, like, Brandon Royval's a good one.
Dude, Raw Dog and Loney Kavanaugh, that is a fight right there.
That's going to be a good one. In fact, there was actually, now you mention it, I thought they were going to have an open workout with Kavanaugh this week. They were reaching out and were like, "Oh, what do you think about the possibility of doing an open workout?" But it didn't come together.
So he must be. So he's in Vegas already.
He must have been in Vegas.
That would have been cool.
Yeah,
but I get it's tough. It's the holiday weekend, and they probably.
And I wonder if I'm the only person that responded and was like, "Yeah," because Oscar's off with Conor this week, and some of the other guys maybe didn't. But yeah, when they PR reached out and said, "Hey, would you be into it?" I'm like, if you're gonna do it, thanks for giving at least a week's head up. Sometimes it's like 2 days, a day out, and you're like, well, that kind of just popped out of nowhere. But yeah, they were gonna do it, so I love that the fact that they're trying. But yeah, that's gonna be a heck of a fight, man. It's a good card, man. Like you said, we'll talk more, bro.
I'm interested because that dude is a freak athlete.
Yeah,
but
poor Elijah.
Yeah,
Elijah. I imagine Ellison. I guess it's Elijah.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think it's just probably a unique way of saying it, but or spelling it or whatever. But I mean, the whole card is really actually a pretty solid.
Yes, dude, that's a fight.
Yeah,
Kamaka and Riley, that's a scrap. You got Whitaker and Krylov. I mean, come on, man.
Yep, it's gonna be a good one.
I love it. We'll talk about it all next week. All right, listen, won't keep anybody much longer. Obviously, not a lot of fights to talk about this week, so hopefully you're okay with getting caught up on our personal lives and everything else that's happening out there. Back to the grind next week with UFC 329.
Yeah.
Looking forward to a big numbered event. Conor McGregor energy in Las Vegas should be good. In the meantime, everybody, pick up your America 250 soundtrack and play it to the fireworks. Get you some Lee Greenwood going on after that.
Get you some beer and sit down and just relive Freedom 250.
Nothing more American than that. Little hot dogs, little burgers.
I am going to grill out some shit. I am looking forward to that.
Come on. Got to.
Let's go.
Let's go. Everybody enjoy it. America 250. Enjoy Independence Day celebration. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening.